Today I want to talk about something that's shaped the way I approach my goals, my growth, and even my peace of mind, which is habits and discipline. And this is not in the cliched hustle life kind of way, but in a real psychological day-to-day sense. Because at some point, we all wrestle with that question that why is it so difficult to stay consistent with the things that I know are good for me? And I think a part of that answer lies in understanding how your subconscious works. You see, when you try to build a new habit, whether that is going to the gym, waking up early, or journaling, your brain does this thing where it starts to negotiate with you. You're not ready yet. Maybe let's start next week. People aren't going to accept this. And the weird part is, your subconscious doesn't sound like a villain. It sounds like you. It sounds like a friend who's trying to protect you, to preserve your energy, and to keep things safe. So when your subconscious says that maybe this isn't the right time or that you're not ready yet, it sounds rational. And that's what makes it so hard to challenge it, because it mimics your identity. And the problem with that is that your subconscious isn't always aligned with your future. It's based on your past experiences, your stories, your fears, and your patterns. So if you never step back, if you never zoom out, you'll always convince that protective voice for the ultimate truth. And that's why some people, they never grow, or they never take advice. Not because they don't have these intentions to grow or to progress, but because their subconscious has convinced them that growth equals danger. And so they stay exactly where they are and call it being rational. But here's why habits matter so much to us as human beings. Because we're creatures of patterns. Our brains are constantly trying to automate things to preserve energy. Now think of brushing your teeth for an example. You don't wake up each morning and motivate yourself to do it. You just do it. And the day that you don't, your entire day seems off. Now that's not discipline anymore. That's identity. So if you build your habits the right way, they start to shape the way you see yourself. Now that's not to say that you shouldn't be spontaneous with some of the things that you do in life, because some of life's best moments come from unplanned things. But if most of the things that you do in life are spontaneous, when it comes to your work, your fitness, your relationships, then you're just gambling with your growth. Because consistency is what allows you to measure progress. It's what tells you that I've been here before and I've gotten better. Now let me give you a personal example. When I decided to start going to the gym, not casually but to actually build it in my life, I didn't start with a perfect training plan. In fact, for the first month, my only goal was to show up to the gym 4 days a week. That's it. No pressure to kill it. No pressure to hit personal bests. To just show up. To maybe move around, get familiarized with the machines, to make it seem easy. Because the goal wasn't to train hard in the beginning, it was to train my identity. To make it feel natural walking into that space each time. Because if I had pushed too hard too early, stuff like muscle soreness or fatigue might have broken that consistency. But by just being gentle and curious in that first phase, I built something far more valuable than a pump. I built a pattern. So by the time the second month came around, the game changed. I wanted to make the most of my time there. I wanted to get stronger. Now because I'd already built a habit of showing up, progress started compounding. And that's where the shift happens. From external pressure to internal drive. From motivation to momentum. This only works if you're patient. Most people start a habit with unrealistic expectations. They want to see big results in the first few weeks, and when those results don't show, they fall off. But here's the truth. Habit formation isn't about results. It's about rhythm. And building a rhythm takes time to feel natural. And here's the thing. We often underestimate how easy it is to implement something that can change our lives. Not because it's physically hard, but because it's mentally inconvenient. But if you treat a habit like brushing your teeth, something small, consistent, and unshakable, it stops needing motivation. It just becomes who you are. And from that place, you can do anything. So I'll leave you with this. Building a habit is like planting seeds. Each time that you water them, even when you don't see progress, you are nurturing something. And then, one day, without warning, it blooms. Not because of what you did that day, but because of everything you did before it. So if you are someone who's trying to build something in your life, I'd say start small, be patient, and show up. Even when it's boring. In fact, especially when it's boring. Because the quietest routines often lead to the loudest transformations. I'll see you guys in the next one.